when the HOA president called the cops because I floated my new houseboat onto my own lake. She thought she'd finally put me in my place. But 7 minutes later, as the officers stood stunned, I made one call and bought the entire marina her HOA depended on. It started with a dream and a laugh. After 20 years of building my construction company from the ground up, I wanted peace. No meetings, no HOA, just a quiet ranch with a private lake where I could fish and watch the sunset. So, I bought 300 acres outside of Meadow Creek County, old ranch land with rolling hills, pine clusters, and a deep spring-fed lake right in the center. Locals said the water was so clear you could see trout glide along the bottom. I built my ranch home on the ridge, but something about that lake kept calling me. One night, sitting on the porch, whiskey in hand, I said out loud, "You know what? I'm gonna live on that lake." 2 months later, my dream arrived. A 32-foot luxury houseboat, all cedar paneling and solar-paneled roof. My crew helped me haul it on a custom trailer and lower it into the lake using our equipment. As it splashed down, sunlight rippled across the water. It was perfect, but across the ridge, trouble brewed. The far edge of my lake bordered the new Silver Meadows HOA, a shiny development that had recently sprung up like weeds. They had docks on their man-made pond and claimed they had shared rights to the water runoff connecting to my lake. Enter Karen Whitfield, the HOA president, 40-something, high-strung and allergic to happiness. She'd already sent me 2 letters claiming my lakeside lights were environmental disturbances. I ignored them. So when she saw my houseboat gliding across the lake that morning, she lost it. I heard her before I saw her, shouting across the fence line with a megaphone like some kind of suburban admiral. "This is illegal activity. You can't operate a vessel here. This is HOA-regulated water." I just waved. "Morning, Karen," she sputtered. "You can't just park a houseboat. You need HOA permission." I laughed. "This is my lake. HOA rules stop at your mailbox." She stormed off, and 10 minutes later, I saw flashing lights on the ridge road. She'd actually called the cops. 2 sheriff's deputies arrived, looking tired already. I motored the houseboat gently to shore where they stood with Karen, who was gesturing dramatically at the water. "Officers," she snapped. "He's trespassing and operating an unlicensed water structure in our community's protected zone." One deputy turned to me. "Sir, what's going on here?" I smiled, stepping off the gangplank. "Just floating my home on my lake. Everything you see behind me is private property, all 300 acres of it," Karen cut in, waving papers. "That's impossible. This lake is part of our drainage system. Our HOA bylaws clearly state no permanent structures on community water." I took her papers, glanced, and chuckled. "Karen, this says Silver Meadows Retention Pond C3. That's half a mile east. This here is Henderson Ranch Lake, recorded in my deed since 1961. The deputy took out his tablet, checking the county map. He whistled low. "Ma'am, he's right. This lake's entirely within his property lines." Karen's eyes went wide. "No, that can't be. Our community uses that runoff." I shrugged. "Runoff, sure. Ownership?" "Nope," she pointed at my boat, trembling with rage. "Then I'll call the county inspector." "You'll need a permit for that thing." The deputy leaned closer to me and muttered, "Don't mind her. We get calls from that HOA every week." I smiled. I figured, "Tell you what, I'll make this easy." I pulled out my phone, dialed my real estate attorney, and put it on speaker. "Hey, Jeff. Quick one. Remember that marina sale we were watching?" He replied instantly. "The one Silver Meadows HOA leases from the city?" "That's the one. Go ahead and close the deal. Full cash offer, now." Karen froze. What are you talking about?" Jeff continued. "Done. I just got the seller's confirmation this morning. The paperwork's in transfer." The deputy raised an eyebrow. "You just bought a marina?" Karen's voice quivered. "Which marina?" "The Silver Meadows Community Marina," I said, grinning. "The one your HOA uses for those paddle boats and picnics." Her clipboard slipped from her hand. "You can't do that." She stammered. I smiled. "I can, it's private property. You were leasing it through a third-party management company. Now I'm that company." The deputies burst out laughing. "Well," one said, "looks like you just went from suspect to landlord." Karen's face turned crimson. "This isn't over. We'll fight this in court." "Please do," I said calmly. "But in the meantime, I suggest you pay your new rent invoice. or those shiny HOA paddle boats will be looking for a new home. 7 minutes. That's all it took, from her call to 911 to me owning her precious Marina. By the next morning, word spread through Silver Meadows faster than a wildfire. HOA members were furious, not at me, but at Karen. She dragged them into a pointless war that ended with me controlling the one property their HOA couldn't function without. The Marina lease expired that week. The board called me in for an urgent meeting. I showed up, clean boots, white hat, and a folder labeled New Terms. Karen was there, red-eyed and shaking. The vice president did all the talking. "Mr. Henderson," he said nervously, "we'd like to continue operations at the Marina. It's important to our community events." "I'm all for that," I said. "But the lease rate will reflect market value now. No more discounted HOA sweetheart deals." Karen slammed her palm on the table. "You're blackmailing us." I smiled politely. "Business, not blackmail. Remember how you called the cops? Consider this: administrative retaliation." The board unanimously voted to approve my lease terms that afternoon. After the meeting, as I walked out, Karen chased me into the parking lot. "You think you've won?" she hissed. "This doesn't make you right." I turned, calm as the lake breeze. "No, Karen, it just makes me the owner." From then on, the HOA checks arrived on time. Over the months, I renovated the Marina, added a cafe and boat rentals, and opened it to the public. Locals loved it, and yes, I even offered Silver Meadows residents a small discount. Just to twist the irony a little further, Karen eventually resigned from her post for personal reasons. Rumor said she couldn't stand seeing my name on every Marina sign. Now, every morning, I sit on my floating deck, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise shimmer over the water. The reflection of my houseboat dances beside the Marina she once tried to control. I smile and whisper to myself, "You called the cops, Karen. I called the bank.